Okay, so we're gonna get rolling. We're gonna leave the trestle here over Octopus Creek behind. I'm not gonna jump up on the bike quite yet because we have another stop right here, and hopefully you can see it okay on the camera. This is probably the best one on this section. So we do have the milepost marker, and so we have milepost 10. And so again, this is the mileage on the Kinghorn subdivision. So the sort of, I guess, third iteration of this line. So as built, as I mentioned earlier in the previous segment, this line was known as the Canadian Northern Railway Long Lake Subdivision. And the Long Lake Subdivision ran from a place called Hornpain, which is to the east of us, and it ran all the way to Jellicoe, which is to the west of us. And so what we have to do is to calculate the original mileage. So this is the mileage that is shown on the Kinghorn, which runs from Long Lac to Thunder Bay. We actually have to add 100.8 miles. And so when we do that, the original mileage on this line becomes 110.8. So 110.8, so 110.8 miles from Hornpain. Okay, so let's jump on the bike and let's continue to work our way along here. Luna's whining so she can't see Noah. And you can see again here, kind of plowing through this sort of swampy area. Here you can see a lot of remnants. See a piece from I don't know what this thing is. I've never seen one of those before. You can see there's a piece of a telegraph pole and spikes and nuts, and here you can actually see a whole tie that's out with the tie plate still on it. And so this is a 1955 tie plate. Most of the line here was jointed rail. There was a few sections that were continuously welded, but a lot of 100-pound jointed rail was used on this line. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to zip you ahead a little bit here. Just enjoy the northwestern Ontario scenery here. It's a very beautiful day. It's not too warm, it's warm. I got a pretty good sweat going. So here you can see what's left of a telegraph pole. Well, actually, surprisingly, we didn't see a lot of telegraph poles on the line today. So here you can see one, and there's a piece of a Dominion 42 insulator on it. So just enjoy the swamp and the trees and the water. So here you can see there's a piece of tie that's still in place here. And so up in the distance, you can see Kenogamisis Lake. So Octopus Creek empties into that very large body of water. All right, so here you can see the northeastern tip of Kenogamisis Lake. Again, I hope I'm saying that right. Nice breeze coming off the lake here, keep the bugs away. Very interesting with the grade here. It's been kind of interesting going through this. Is kind of, again, this is kind of a more remote section of grade. The road that we started our hike on today, Kenogamisis Dam Road, is the only road access between here and Geraldton. You can't really get on the railway grade, so basically you've got about 11 miles where there's no road that gets into this area. And so you can imagine it doesn't see a lot of traffic. You can see that it's kind of grown in here. This is the one, it's very flat. This is one of the two curves on the line here. So there's a curve here and there's a curve further up, or otherwise it's just sort of straight. You can see just a tiny little bit of rock work here. And that's really the only real kind of rock work or cutting that's on this section. So here you can see the lake a little bit better. It's a very large lake. And so we're gonna see it here, and we'll see it up just up ahead here because there's a bridge we're gonna cross. And then we'll see it towards the end of our hike. I was mentioning the grade. Lots of vegetation growing on the grade. The ballast is like all over the place. There's sections where there's no ballast and it's just perfect to ride on, and other times, like right now, where it's just brutal. And it doesn't help that, again, I'm a little under the weather, so I'm like huffing and puffing, trying to pedal through the ballast here. I'm laboring a little bit. And so here it's fine. Just kind of making me crazy a little bit. Okay, so we're approaching our next stop here. So we do have a bridge crossing. I'm keeping my eyes out here. I'm trying to see if I can see a flanger sign for the bridge. Approaching it from the east side, the flanger side should be on this side. I looked when we came the other direction, but I didn't see anything. This time of year it's hard to see anything. You got to get kind of lucky just because of the vegetation. It's kind of hard too because I have to kind of watch where I'm going. I have a tendency to kind of go where I'm looking, and it's a bit of a ways down. Oh, so here you got basically a bit of wire cable. I'm not sure what this was used for, but basically we have this large bridge that we're going to be taking a look at. And you know, basically this all section here was probably all rockfill that was placed in here. So we're going to hold up here for a second, and then we're going to make our way across the structure. All right, here we go. So what's kind of interesting, first of all, as we kind of approach the bridge here, and I'll flash this up. On my CN profile map, basically this shows this as a trestle because it basically talks about bents, and that's indicative of a trestle. So at some point this was replaced by a span, and I don't know when that happened. The concrete work here on the approaches, on the abutments here, look fairly new. And what we're going to do is when we drop down, we'll basically see everything a little bit more. We'll see everything in a little bit more detail. I have to point this out because I thought this was very, very humorous. I just happened to notice this by accident. I don't know if you can see this on the camera. We'll try to peek over when we get over there. There's planters hanging from the side of the bridge over there by the middle pier. I just thought that was interesting. Okay, so this is basically the Kenogamisis River Bridge. So Kenogamisis Lake, this is where the lake becomes the river and it flows to the north. as I mentioned, this was probably at some point a trestle and was replaced by this through plate span. And essentially the through plate design, because the bridge itself is not particularly high, basically allows the strength and basically gives you the clearance underneath. So it allows some measure of boat traffic to flow under the bridge itself. The bridge is in pretty good shape. A few of the timbers along the side are kind of banged up. Like you can see, this one here is in pretty rough shape, and this one over here. I don't know the reason for that. It could have been when they were pulling up the rails. I know they used an excavator to do that, and maybe when the excavator was crossing, yeah, there's the planters. Let's go over here. So the bridge itself is about 125 feet high. There's the planters. Hopefully you can see them. What are those? Pansies? I don't know. I'm a history teacher, not a gardener. So the bridge itself is 125 feet long. And as you're going to see from the side, there is one sort of pier in the middle supporting the span. Again, it seems like it's in pretty good shape. Right here is where there's a little bit of an issue here. You can see some of the timber beams have been sort of pushed here, and there's a big kind of gap right there. Other than that, seems like it's okay. Couldn't find a date stamp or anything on there anywhere. There is a survey. There is a benchmark, so you can see the benchmark. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to drop down and go take a look at the side of the bridge itself. All right, so we made our way down here. We are on the southeast corner of the structure. Here you can see Kenogamisis Lake, and here you can see the structure here in front of us. This is about as close as we can get, simply just because of the way that the river or the lake kind of flows into the river. We can't really get any closer, but you can kind of see some of the detail here. It appears that some of the concrete work has been redone. I don't know when. There's no, I've looked, and we're going to look again, but I don't see a date stamp on here. One of the things that's really interesting here is you can actually see the, there's one pier in the middle, and then kind of these sort of piers on other side, kind of as part of the abutments here. You can see that they've been encased in metal, and I'm guessing that is to sort of protect the concrete from the water and from the ice in the wintertime. You can see that middle one is kind of angled. It does have a pretty good sort of peak to it. Again, probably used to kind of deflect the ice. You know, the water is kind of flowing to the north here from the lake into the river, and I'm guessing during the breakup in the springtime, ice was a bit of a consideration. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to jump back up on the grade, and we're just going to continue working our way to the west.